and welcome to our mid-innings coverage of the 8th round match being played between England and Netherlands at the MCA Stadium in Pune today. Earlier on, Jos Buttler had won the toss and put England to bat first. Scott Edwards says that he too have batted first but wasn't too fussed with chasing. For England, Harry Brook and Gus Atkinson came in for the out-of-form Liam Livingstone and niggle-plagued Mark Wood. And for Netherlands, Teja Nidamanuru came in for Saqib Zulfikar. At the end of their allotted 50 overs, England have posted 339 runs for 9 wickets. When Dawid Malan gets the third half-century of this World Cup, he gets 87 of 74 balls. Jos Buttler's ODI struggles in India continue. He puts up a paltry knock of 5 runs in 11 balls. Chris Woakes also getting a half-century, 51 of 45. And for those wondering if Ben Stokes should have stayed back for the remainder of the World Cup, well, he posted a hefty total of 108 in 84 balls. For Netherlands, Aryan Dutt got 2 wickets. That's the latest. I will just update you on that. Yes, Aryan Dutt got 2 wickets. Logan Van Beek 2 also. Paul Van McKeeran on 1. And Bas de Leede was the highest wicket taker with 3 wickets. Colin Ackerman was the most economical of bowlers that we last checked. Yes, he still is the most economical of bowlers. I'm now going to go over to Dav and try to understand from him. 371 precisely, Dav, is what you had predicted the score to be when we were discussing this earlier on. Did England manage to impress you? Are you happy with that total, or should they have got perhaps 30-40 runs more on that pitch?
I'm amazed you remembered.
Of course I did. I made a note of it.
I'm being a bit cheeky. Yeah, tell you what, it was a good thing that Ben Stokes didn't leave the team and go for an early surgery because they sure needed him. You know, 339 is a good score, but I thought they'd get there in a little slightly different way. In fact, it was a little disappointing the way these English batsmen fared with such a good, you know, top order, middle order. Again, they gave up. They just left it to the next person, and luckily Ben Stokes was there to stop the rot, and you know, he was able to ensure that they get a good competitive total. So, you know, I think that's enough, but they still got to do some work in the second half.
What about Chris Woakes? He did speed up that innings there. They were 200 odd runs, and then he comes in, sped it up. I think a strike rate of about 113. If we can just look at his numbers, if we have them ready.
Yeah.
He also did contribute quite a lot to that total.
He did. Stokes, he found a willing ally in Woakes. Woakes came and actually knocked the ball pretty easily at the start. He had a little gap there where he played a few dot balls, but generally speaking, he really did, you know, give some good assistance to Stokes to ensure that there's a nice little partnership there to bump up the score. So yes, he's done a good job.
Where is this looking like going? Do you think this is still England's game, or again Netherlands chase that total?
Well, I think it looks like England's done a fair bit of work to win the game. The main part of this chase, I think, will centre around the first 10 overs. Most teams, when they struggle, they lose wickets under lights with 2 new balls. So, you know, they will need to understand that. I'm sure they do. They're pretty well prepared. But as I said, their experience at this level just may let them down. But, you know, that's what they have to do. They'll come against some decent, you know, attack. But if they can withstand it, as I keep saying, then they'll have some sort of a chance. They'll have some wickets left to try and, you know, mount up a challenge to overhaul that 330. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm hopeful that not many wickets will go in that first 10 overs.
What do you have to say about the Dutch bowling attack? Did they manage to do enough, given the conditions, which are batting friendly? Beautiful wicket to bat on today.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That's why I said I'm a little surprised that, you know, once again, they were let down. The English batters let themselves down. But the Dutch bowling, I thought, was okay to a point. They got to the last 10 overs, and then that sort of, you know, let it all go away, unfortunately. But they kept chipping away, and keep getting wickets. The first phase was 1. The second phase, okay, no wickets, but then they got 3 between 21 and 30, and then another 2 wickets between 31 and 40 for only 37 runs. So, you know, there were some good things happening for the Dutch, but once it got to the last phase where the most intense part of the game is, that's when sadly focus went away, extras were bowled, no balls also was bowled, and it resulted in 124 runs in that last phase.
Yeah, that's the innings progression as well. When we were doing the pre-match show, one suspected the innings to go pretty well in England's favour. We saw a couple of deliveries being bowled and you looked happy with that. And then maintain it up until the 20th over, and then it starts dropping. In comes Chris Woakes, builds up that innings again, of course, with the assistance of Ben Stokes, who posted that ton. What do you make of this overall batting effort?
So you can see the graph was going in the wrong direction. It was heading in the wrong direction. That's okay to go from 70 to 60, but not to 46 and then 37. That was really, they were in trouble, to be very honest with you. But it wasn't, if it wasn't for Stokes and Woakes coming together. Malan did a very good job at the top. Unfortunately, got run out. But after that, there wasn't too many contributions. And it really, again, came down to that one guy with a little bit of help from his mate Woakes.
There he is.
108 off 84, wonderful effort. Also, a little handicap with that knee. He looks like he was struggling a bit there. So, you know, the England should be very thankful for his contribution.
Yeah. While he did go a little steady, if you look at the strike rate towards the end, but towards the beginning and the middle of his knock, he wasn't really hitting the ball all over the park. He was being careful. Strategized knock, I would say, managed to push that total up to 300 plus.
That's right. It's when you start off, you've got to be a little cautious. You've got to be, you know, ensure that you understand what that pitch is doing, what the bounce is, if there's any movement or whatever, and he assessed the conditions really well before he put the foot down, and that's exactly the way you're supposed to do it.
Now we have his wagon wheel as well.
Yeah, he really targeted that leg side, as you can see, heavily, and you know, 39 runs from his favourite area, straight to slightly on to wide of long on. So. Nothing new. He's slog sweeps beautifully, and he's played a few of those. A little lucky. He got dropped on the leg side. Aryan Dutt, you know, attempted a very difficult one, low to the ground at fine leg, deep fine leg, and put him down. So you know, like everything else, you need a little bit of luck go your way, and that certainly happened for Ben Stokes today.
Right. What is it with Jos Buttler and playing in India?
Yeah, he's horribly out of form. In fact, there's no reason why he should play the next game. You know, it's a very important match against Pakistan. And, you know, we've got another keeper there in Bairstow. Five runs today, 11 balls. I'm sure he'd be thinking about that. I'm sure that would cross his mind. And it would be better if he raises that point rather than, you know, the coach or the selector, the third selector on tour. So there's no reason, there's no really disgrace in it. It's happened before. It's just a temporary lack of form that, you know, that perhaps another person coming in can do better. He just looked totally out of nick.
Who would you then have captain the side if he's sitting out for the next one?
You can have Stokes. You can have Bairstow, you can have any one of those guys. They're all experienced. But certainly I would think that would be crossing his mind.
We should also talk about Dawid Malan there today, Dav. Impressive feat
I like
there.
this guy.
Yeah, his third century.
That's right.
Of the World Cup.
And as I mentioned a couple of times in the past, that Dawid Malan gets to, if he bats after 20 overs, they win the game 9 times out of 10. So he's got past 20 overs. He's he's made a nice contribution at 117 strike rate. And he did a really good job right from the start. He hit it beautifully. You know, he timed it both on the offside and the leg side. His favourite area, of course, is through you know, the cover drive, the straight drive, the backward point shot. very, very good and very strong. That's his favourite area, but he can also pick you up on the legs, which he did as well. So well done to him, and he certainly helped to get the side off in a strong way. 70 for 1 in the first 10 overs, mainly because of him.
Yeah. Dav, we also see England ruffle the feathers a little bit too much in their batting and the bowling order in the lineup, basically, a couple of games ago. Would you say that this is somewhat looking like the one that they should be going ahead with, at least for the remainder of the World Cup?
Well, the first 4 have been consistent when Stokes was fit.
Yeah.
5 was when they started to,
experiment.
Yeah. Today was Harry Brook. Sorry, 5 was, Brook came 5, and Stokes, not Stokes, Butler. Butler went down to number 6. Normally, Stokes is 4 and then Butler's 5. Liam Livingstone 6. But Harry Brook came in instead and went one slot above the captain. So that's just another indication, that Butler's out of nick and was hoping he didn't have to face as many balls. But, Harry Brook again gave it away. He was playing some good shots early, but he gave it away. So, look, I think they're getting pretty close to the right mix, but I certainly would be discussing the captain having a bit of a break next game.
OK. Who impressed you the most in the Netherlands bowling attack?
Look, I think Aryan Dutt again, except in that last over, he just let it go. Full toss above the waist, 6. I think he went for 20 runs in that 1 over. Very sad to see that. And he was a little unlucky not to get Stokes out as well. On review for an LBW, he looked for all purposes in front, but a little murmur on that snicko suggested maybe it might have brushed the under edge or the glove. So he got away. He was very lucky to get away with that, and then the floodgates open. I think Aryan Dutt, also Van Meekeren, bowled right. They all did a good job until that last 10 overs. Yeah.
Where do you think England would have been restricted had they not leaked runs in those 10 overs?
Where would they go? How would they?
Where do you think England would have been restricted to? Had
right, the total?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Had they not leaked runs in the last 10 overs?
Well, they finished up with 330, so I reckon in that last 10 overs they probably, they might even be bowled out for about 270, 280 even.
It did look like that at one point, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It looked even less than that.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's not the reality. The reality is, you just got to, do the basics as well as you can when the pressure's on. And we didn't really talk about the extras here, 16 wides and 1 no ball. So that's 1 ball less than 3 overs.
Yeah.
Extra.
I knew you were coming to that, which is why I asked about their bowling attack.
Yes. That really makes a difference. It really does,
OK, hear it from the coach. The extras police. Dav is always very careful about that because each run, each ball counts. OK, let's now take a few comments, Dav, that we've got for you. A few questions, perhaps, also after that innings that we saw on this segment that we so fondly call No More with Whatmore. The first one comes in from... OK, this is from Rihanna. She says, always him in difficult situations. What a champion player. An incredible first World Cup 100 for Stokesy.
Yeah.
Compliment to Ben Stokes.
Absolutely. Well done, Ben Stokes. He did get a couple of starts in this tournament and got out. Difficult job in other games, but today he really needed to step up. Nobody else did. He was showing the way, so I'm very pleased for him. And pleased for England too, because they, if they're serious about wanting to qualify, this is the sort of effort they're going to have to do it again next game.
OK, this is from Garg, who says, Joe Root has not lived up to the mark. Do you think he wants to end his World Cup on a high note by scoring a ton? Yes. By scoring a ton against Pakistan.
You'd think so. You'd think he'd want to do something. But look, he's been disappointing. He's the senior batsman, a very good player, but he's just, He just seems to be, gifting his wicket. Again, he gifted his wicket.
Yeah.
He got a start. And it's okay to play those fancy shots. He's learnt it, fine, but you got to execute it. If you don't execute it, it looks awful. It really was pretty bad today. So yeah, I'm sad for him. He's a much better player than that, but he's not showing it.
Just to summarise it on your behalf, Dav, I'm sensing that you'd say while they did manage to put up that total, which is not a bad total by any means, but you weren't exactly happy with England's innings. You weren't happy with the way they batted.
Really, three players.
Yeah.
Malan at the top, of course, Ben Stokes with his 100, and Woakes right down the bottom gave him some company and got some runs, got a 50, which is, you can't expect that every time. So you need more contributions from that middle order. Come on, you can do it. And they got Pakistan next game. Should they win today, then they've got a chance to qualify.
Okay, this is from Aryan, who says Ben Stokes plays a good innings and the game suddenly becomes an important match. Critical game from a dead rubber that they were supposed to win anyway.
Aryan,
LOL.
well,
It's from Aryan, yes.
Well, it's a dead rubber in reference to a semi-final berth.
Yeah.
But I tell you, there's a lot more hanging on it for both of these teams. Netherlands is one game better than England. A win from Netherlands will put them hellishly in contention to play in a couple of years' time. Yeah. So it's not quite a dead rubber in that way.
Okay. This is from Farhan, who says, love watching this every day, makes my days bright, watching this while hiding from my boss, by the way.
He doesn't get sick of it?
I don't know if Coach Dav Whatmore recommends that, Dav. That's Farhan.
Yeah.
Well, we're very glad that you do, so thank you so much, Farhan. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. He watches it every day.
Yeah, hides from his boss and watches it.
Well, maybe he starts work early in the morning so he can finish in time for that 2 o'clock start.
Yes.
Yeah, look, it is a long tournament, though. It's interesting, and it's the best format, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone plays each other, but it's hellishly long, isn't it? Maybe they can review it as they do, and maybe a few more double headers.
I'm sure Farhan doesn't mind that. It's Farhan's boss that perhaps would.
Yeah, does Farhan boss know, though? That's the thing. He's hiding from the boss.
Thank you so much, Farhan, though. We really appreciate it that you managed to get a little bit away from work and watch this. However, as Dav recommends, finish up your work earlier so that we're not in problem, that we're making you watch it. Okay, this is from... Oh, this one comes from me. I'll extend the question to you as well, Dav. Yeah. This is... from Ro, except Ben Stokes, what was the moment of the match, Esha? Well, for me, it was the last 10 overs when England actually sped up those innings. I wasn't expecting them to post 300 plus. That was several moments of the match for me because a run rate of 12 plus in the last 10 was not what we were expecting. What about you, Dav?
Yeah, it was 215 for 6 after 40 overs.
Yeah.
And that was after 37 laboured runs for 2 wickets in that phase. So I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to accelerate. I can see that, but you only got 4 wickets left. Yes, they do bat all the way down to number 11, but it's still a bit of a chance, And they left it too late in terms of wickets lost. They should have lost less wickets. So yes, like you, I think they turned at in the 42nd or 43rd over when the intentions were clear by Stokes.
There you go, Ro. We think it's the last 10 overs, both of us. Okay, this is from Shane, who says, that was a terrible DRS with Stokes short of his 100. No way he got bat or glove on it. There was a movement on the graph before it was even close to his bat. Coach, all batsmen to slide, shuffle, feet in the dirt, and they will never be out LBW again, if that is a precedent. This is from Shane.
Well, we all looked at it, and I thought, well, gee, maybe there was a slight brushing of contact with the ball glove or under edge. But sometimes, or very rarely, that goes in your favour. You know, most of the time it goes against the batter. In this case, he was a bit lucky. You know, I think your caller there, Shane,
yeah,
is got some merit to it for sure.
Okay. All right, this is from Amit, who says, England really needed it tonight, and what a knock it was. Stokes at his best. Hopefully they can win now and can get back to how they used to play.
Well, that's what they're looking for, someone to show them the way. You know, they've had, what, 5, 6 losses? 6, 7, yeah, 6 losses. Nobody's willing to put their hand up and say, look, I'm going to show you, and that was Stokes today.
Maybe that's why he stayed back.
Yeah, to show, look, he's really focused. He just wants England to win. It looked like he wanted England to win more than anyone else.
Okay. Another one for Stokes there, Dav, and then we know you have to go for another broadcast at 6:30. This is from Dylan, who says, Ben Stokes has notched his inaugural World Cup century, and England surged with a remarkable addition of 124 runs in the last 10 overs, establishing a formidable target for Netherlands to chase. This is from Dylan. Would you call it formidable?
Quite absolutely agree with Dylan. 124 was a lot of runs in that last 10 overs.
Yeah.
Helped a lot by some extras and no balls, free hits. Yeah, totally agree. It was a very good effort, mainly because of Stokes' aggression.
Would you call it a formidable total?
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
Given the conditions. Okay. All right, this is the last couple of comments that we're going to take. This is from Joe, who says, remember the name Benjamin Andrew Stokes?
Andrew.
Says Joe. Yes.
Yeah,
that's his middle name. So, okay, lots of Ben Stokes fans here. All right, this is from Harsh, who says, Mashallah, Ben Stokes, superb innings under huge pressure. It's enough runs on the board. So happy to see, finally, great performance, half job done.
Well, Harsh is right. I think there was some pressure. You know, if he had got out, even at the review, if it had got out then, it would have been really hard for England to score those runs. You know, there was pressure there, but he handled that pressure pretty well. Well done.
Okay. Last word from you, Dav. Where do you think this match is headed? Who's going to get it?
Yeah, look, on the surface, it looks like 330 is a little bit beyond Netherlands, simply because they're going to get some good stuff in that first 10 overs. Underlights, 2 new balls. If they lose some wickets, it's going to be really tough. But these guys fight, you know, and if they can put up a good fight, it may get a little closer than what you think.
Okay, so England.
England.
Okay. With that, we're going to wrap up this edition of WION World of Cricket. You can catch Dav again at about 3:30 on another edition of WION World of Cricket with Digvijay Singh Deo. That's it from me, Esha, for now. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.